let's kick it off. Let's talk about what we need. So a rudimentary grower. If you were going to walk into a Home Depot, if you were going to jump onto Amazon and get off right away, just try to get something into the ground, get it sprouting.
Right.
There's a few things that you could get. The first thing is I really like, well, grow media. When you're talking about what a plant needs, you need something to grow it in. You need nutrients, and the nutrients are transported by water, but it would be things like the three primary nutrients that it uses, nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. It would be things like the micronutrients, things like iron and calcium and magnesium, which is actually very important because that forms the core of a chlorophyll cell.
Oh, okay.
And then things like carbon dioxide. Those are all nutrients that the plant will need. Beyond that, you're also going to need light, because obviously that's
Clearly,
how plants grow. Well, you're going to need something to grow.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so let's
we
kick
got
it off.
like this little burpee box.
We do. Let's. If you go to the first link there, Kara, if you or you can just go to you too if you really want them to see you. Now this is crazy expensive. I would not order from Amazon unless you had absolutely no other option. I really like these starter kits. They work incredibly well. They last, and you can reuse them over and over and over. But I bought this from Home Depot for about $10. So the Amazon price is ridiculously too high. What's nice about this kit, though, is that it basically contains everything you need to get something into peat, into soil, into a grow medium, and start germinating it. You're also going to need seeds. Now this is something else. If you're near a Home Depot or near a small grow shop, they all have seeds, and normally they look like this. Now if you take a look at this, these are dwarf gray sugar peas. I really like these because, well, I mean, you can just pluck these off the vine, and they're actually very tasty. Yeah, I've already
if they
grown
look
this.
like if they grow into that, sure.
Mine did not grow into that, but that was my mistake. Okay, but see, what's important about this is if you look at the back of really well-packaged seeds, it's going to give you all the information that you need to make it grow. So it's going to tell you, what is my seed depth? So in other words, how far down do I need to put it in order to make this thing germinate properly? So I need to get this thing 3 centimeters, about 1 inch, down into the soil in order to make this germinate properly. It's going to take about 4 inches in order for me to, that's what I should space it out if I'm going to be putting a bunch of these into a planter. I need my row spacing. Now the big one is going to be sprouting and maturation. A lot of people don't realize it's going to take a while.
See, that's one of the hardest parts for me is the patience.
Yeah, so 1 to 2 weeks is when we're going to start to see a sprout here, and in about 60 days is when they'll be ready to harvest.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, before we start jumping into all of this, we need to prep it. So let's open up our burpee self-watering kit. Burpee. We're going to show the folks at home what goes into this. Now, here's the reason why I like this. First of all, it's got a dome, and this is going to be very important. Because when we're dealing with germination, with seedlings, with young juvenile plants, they're going to want a lot of humidity. And so what this dome will allow me to do is it will allow me to keep a level of humidity inside the dome that's going to promote growth of the seedling.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because remember, they're really weak. They're not going to have many roots. They're going to have teeny tiny baby leaves. So the more you can give them through the air, the better it's going to be. This is a standoff. You'll see what this does in a bit. This is the main action. If you go to the overhead shot here, Kara, inside of these things are little, let's see if I can pull one out. These are peat pellets.
Oh, they look like little cakes.
They are, and that's all they look like. But what's going to happen is when I add water, they're going to expand.
Oh.
And then they're going to become a little thing that I can push the seed down into.
Oh, so there's no seed in this?
There is no seed, right? Okay. So I'm going to be adding the seeds. Now this is a 36 cell tray. They left one out, but oh well.
Or did somebody already eat one?
Yeah, they do kind of look like chocolates. Yeah, go figure. All right, and then not only does it have that, but it has this. This is really, really cool. So this, first of all, if you're going to be planting multiple types of plants, this is sort of like a grid.
So that is a cool grid.
Well, I mean, it's important because you're going to forget what you planted where.
Oh, right.
But okay, but we're not going to use that.
You're talking about this material, though.
Because we're going to use all the same seeds for the entire grid. But this is my water reservoir, and then what this will do is this will allow me to, if you, hold on, do this. I can put the standoff like this, and put this like that. And then what it will do is this will wick up, or actually it should be the other way around. This will wick up the water from the tray.
Oh, so it's not overwatering, it's just giving the a little base of water.
Precisely. So I'm not submerging the roots of the seedlings. It's just going to wick the water up towards the seedlings.
Which I think is the biggest culprit for me when I kill a plant is I suffocate it with water.
Right. A lot of people don't realize this, but your plant needs oxygen. Yes, it needs carbon dioxide, but if the roots don't get oxygen, they drown. They die.
Like airflow, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll start to get this brown slime. It looks disgusting. So you need something that will water the plant, will get water into the medium, but not so much that the roots start to suffocate.
Okay,
All
cool.
right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this mat and we're going to soak it because we need to prepare it for our little growth experiment. And this is straight water out of our Alhambra drinking system. We're going to talk a little bit more about what you do with your water and where you source it from. But for now, we're going to do it the nice, easy, old-fashioned way, and that is steal it from the business cooler.
Right.
All right, so let me go ahead and put this back, like so. I'm actually going to put it this way. Something like that. There's a bunch of particles in that. That's just peat. So there's nothing else. Now, here's the fun part. We're going to pour water on top of these, and these are going to expand.
Cool.
And that's what they're designed to do. They're designed to sort of just grow as you add water.
And then you put the seeds in?
Well, yes, but not just any water. Here's something that a lot of people don't pay attention to. In fact, I didn't, and this is probably the reason why I had such bad turnout. Plants require a very specific pH. Now, pH goes all the way down from 1 up to 14, 1 being incredibly acidic and 14 being very alkaline.
Right.
So when you think of something like bleach is actually, it's not an acid, it's an alkali. And if you go either way, you're going to
kill.
Yeah, you're going to kill. Well, 7 is ideal, but not really. 7 is neutral water. Plants like it a tiny bit more acidic. They typically like something around from 5.5 all the way up to about 6.8 because the nutrients that they need, those are the pH ranges that they'll dissolve into.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it's like helping it digest.
Well, it's just making it available. If, for example, if I pour pH 8.5 water into soil, what it will do is it is so alkali, it will lock together with the nutrients and they become salts. And then those are no longer available to the plant. Not only they're not available to the plant, but the plant will actually choke because it's got nothing available to it. It can't soak up any of the nutrients. Same thing if you go down too far. So if you go either too high or too low, you could lock the nutrients out and basically render that soil useless until you flush it.
No wonder I've killed so many plants.
Yeah. And when I figured that out, that's when I actually started growing a bit better.
Okay. So how do you control that?
This is how we're going to control it. We've got a liter of water here. We've got a little pH meter. And actually, if you go to that the third link there, Kara, this is just a Mutter pH meter. It's about $11. Yeah, not super precise, but it's good enough for our purposes. So the way it's going to work is, if you go to the side shot here, Kara, I'm just going to take this, I'm going to put it into here, and actually, there we go. So I'm running a pH of about 8.56. This is straight out of the tap here at TWiT.
So it's a little more alkaline.
It's a bit more alkali, and actually this is pretty normal for the Bay Area. Bay Area, you're going to find high pHs just because of the type of water that we're pulling out. Not only that, it's chlorinated.
Right.
And so what's going to happen is that the chlorine is going to start to bubble out, which is fine. I mean, chlorine actually won't hurt plants all that much, but the problem is as that chlorine bubbles out, it actually, the pH goes even higher. Because chlorine's an acid. So chlorine is artificially holding this down at 8.5. Once that bubbles out, it's probably going to get up to like 9.